The moment you destroy I do not know, your entire learning and expansion process has come to a cease. And this is what you're doing with your belief.
Oh,
Isn't that sick?
that's awesome. That's so counterintuitive to American culture. Welcome everyone.
To another episode of
Learn with us.
where we
Take videos
on YouTube
on YouTube
that might just change your day for the better.
for the better.
And we watch them and we learn from them.
We talk about them with you.
Zuzzing. Today, the first time we're reacting to one of my favorite people I've found on YouTube ever. This guy named Sadhguru. He's a boss.
Look at
first
him.
of
Wait,
all.
just look at him.
So
I'm gonna put this on.
This guy runs like the fourth biggest volunteer organization in the world called
That's so
Isha
cool.
Foundation.
What do they do?
11 million volunteers. They do everything. So this guy is an enlightened person, or considered enlightened, is a yogi. Like, that's what he practiced to become enlightened. But he always talks about the fact that we shouldn't have like certain religion or a certain practice, and that it's more just the practice of life that we should be working towards.
Very
So I think
Buddhist.
that's really cool. His foundation, the Isha Foundation, 11 million volunteers. They have like a meditation retreat center. They're building schools all over the world. They're helping solve hunger, helping solve climate change. Like, they're doing it all. Yeah, I think one of the things we always talk about with like gurus and mentors and like spiritual people is that one of the biggest things that is a turnoff for us is when they're like super rich.
Yeah. So, oh my god.
Or like flaunt what they
Yeah.
have, and they're like, well, I really know what's going on, so you guys should listen to me.
Yeah, and then
'Cause-
talk about like manifesting just getting super rich, because that's not like, that doesn't make me feel like you're enlightened.
Yeah. So then I think this guy has the opposite cloud of that, where
Absolute
he's like,
opposite.
11 million people follow me just because they've started doing the things that I do and realize that their life is that much better. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and he'll say like, that's why you should listen to me.
Yeah, and the more you hear him talk, the more you can feel and like recognize how simple he lives. Let's
So,
get to it. Yep.
oh yeah, so Logan Paul.
Oh yeah, famous
who's
YouTuber.
Famous YouTuber, had him on his show like a few weeks ago, and the clips are really, really cool.
And like, this is not what you would usually see him rolling up wearing,
Yeah.
but it is baller.
He's currently doing a motorcycle tour across the United States.
How many of you believe in God? Just raise one hand. Okay.
Got about 5 people? 6 people?
How many of you believe you have two hands? Just raise one hand.
So this is one of the biggest things with this guy's, like the way he does things in general. You might know this.
I definitely
But
know,
he'll
yeah.
usually start with some sort of like simple example that he can then bring into whatever the deeper lesson is that he's about to have. So he asked you, do you believe in God? Do you believe you have two hands? So we already know that we're talking about the idea of belief versus knowing.
Yep.
And what's coming with that.
I'm asking you, do you believe you have two hands or do you know that you have two hands?
Both.
Really?
Yeah.
How is both? If you know you have two hands, where is the need to believe you have two hands?
One follows the other.
No.
Why not?
If you know something, why do you have to believe it?
So one of the big things that Sadhguru does is focus on definitions of words and like what we really hold in the word we say. So right now he's trying to separate the distinction between belief and knowing. And he's saying if you know something, you don't need to believe it. Because believing is wanting to know something that you can't actually know.
Yep.
You know,
Yep,
it's
for
like
sure.
putting faith into a knowledge,
sure.
even though you don't know it.
If I know something, why do I have to believe it?
Yeah, you
Because
know it.
I believe one follows the other.
No.
I believe the truth. I have two hands. That's the truth. I believe it.
See, the word believe essentially means you do not know something, but you believe it is so.
So do you think that he's like putting value on one over the other, believing or knowing?
I think I've heard him talk about similar things.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing for him is that why would you believe something's true and focus on that one thing being true if it locks out all other possibilities? So I think that's
like
his big
that.
thing is like, why are you focusing?
Being open. Yeah.
Why are you focusing on your belief? Like your two hands, you know you have these because you're using them all day, every day.
Mm-hmm.
Your God, you have this feeling.
Yep.
So you have this like want, this belief, but you don't know what's behind that feeling.
And so do you think he would say to continually explore that and not be stagnant with your beliefs around it?
Yes.
Oh,
That you
I like
shouldn't
that.
create a belief. You should explore it. But I think he'll get into that.
Cool. Yeah.
Forget about the belief and just
No,
stick
no,
to
I'm
what
not
we
saying.
know.
But first understand the distinction between knowing something and believing something.
Got it.
So whatever we do not know, it is most wonderful of you and human of you to see I do not know. Because I do not know is a tremendous possibility. Tremendous possibility. The moment you destroy I do not know, your entire learning and expansion process has come to a cease. And this is what you're doing with your belief.
Oh,
Isn't that
that's
sick?
awesome. That's so counterintuitive to American culture
Yes.
because you're not supposed to be that explorative, I feel like.
Well, you're supposed to have strong beliefs that
Yeah.
you stand in.
Polarizing
You're
beliefs.
supposed to
Yeah.
know your beliefs so that you'll fight for them.
Yep.
You will die. You will go to the grave for your beliefs.
That's
even
so
though
true.
it
That's
could
so
be
true.
that you're wrong.
Yeah, and you don't even have the option to say I don't know.
Yeah, and what if we flip that to being no, saying I don't know is the brave thing.
Yeah.
Is like the
It's
beautiful
humble.
thing.
Like being humble isn't really valued in our society, I feel like. That's never like being sort of brash and like that sort of toxic masculinity that's put up on a pedestal in our society of always knowing, always like
Being
even
a
if you
leader.
being a leader and being a leader meaning like even if you don't know something, you still like mash it into the ground that you do, even if you know it's wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like that is undeniably a value in our society.
Yes. 100%.
All these days people were saying, I believe God. Now they're saying in California, I believe in myself. I don't know what that means.
Well, I believe in God, and I do know that there's a God. So you're saying to sacrifice my belief?
So this guy is exactly what we were just talking about. That he's like, and I mean that's kind of a thing with Christian faith in general, or a monotheism in general. That your belief is that there is this one God and there is no other option.
And not just that there's one God, but that there's a whole set of rules under that one God and a whole way, like every question that you could have. Like I went to Catholic high school. Every question you could have about Catholicism is already answered somewhere. Like there is no room for questioning within yourself, in my opinion. And so I feel like that's where this guy's coming from, is he's being prideful with that answer of like, I believe that there's God and I know that there's God.
Because that's looked at as the bravest thing to do.
Yeah,
To stand up for your
yeah,
God and
yeah.
say, yes, this is my God.
Right.
Which in our culture is a brave thing to do. You know? Like that is what we've decided bravery is.
Right. But what if, instead he was like, I don't know, and I'm exploring that, and like I still have sort of faith in this feeling that I've been chasing.
Yes.
I feel like that's a much more healthy way to go about it. Yeah.
What is the metric for which something goes from belief to knowledge? Is the
Not knowledge.
I just want to
We're talking about knowing.
right. So
Let me
Is
make
the-
a
is-
distinction between knowledge and knowing.
okay, is the
Knowledge is an accumulated information. I know this and that. By knowledge means I have accumulated information. Today, everybody is knowledgeable about everything. This doesn't mean to say they know it. They know it through the phone screen, everything in the universe, but they don't know it by experience of anything. So knowing is by experience. I have two hands, is my knowing. I know it is there, all right? Even if I close my eyes, it's there. If you argue with me, it's there. It's there anyway. So belief is something else. Right now I know something, I do not know something. These are two facts of life.
so
If you live in truth, you will know some things, you will not know some things. What you do not know, naturally your intelligence will want to know. You don't have to seek it consciously.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Bars.
That's so amazing.
Yeah.
He just put them, he said, sit down, little boys. Sit down. You patted them all on the head. Tucked him in.
And he did it in style.
Tucked him in and look at him. Look at what he's wearing.
This
Look at the
boss.
way he's going about
He's in
it.
overalls right
Oh
now.
my gosh. The way he went about that.
Yeah.
I love the difference between knowledge and knowing. The whole you can see the whole universe through your phone screen, but you've only gotten a sliver of it that you can actually know.
Yeah, and I feel like for me personally, how I would then like further describe that is things that you know you can act with. Like you can take
Yeah.
action with those things.
Yeah, because that's a powerful thing is actually knowing something within yourself. Because
it like changes, like if you know it, you're gonna act differently based on that knowledge.
Because I feel like just accumulating knowledge all happens in the brain, but I feel like knowing something can happen throughout your whole body. That can be a feeling. Really knowing something it doesn't have to be just facts. I feel like, which I think he's kind of hinting at here, and that's why it turns into a change in the way that you're acting. Because just knowledge doesn't. We know that doesn't change the way you're acting. It's all based on your value system.
Yeah.
Which could change if you know something.
That's interesting. Like, I was gonna go on a different point, but I liked where that ended. That was good.
What you do not know, you want to believe and make yourself feel like you know it. And that's caused tremendous trouble to human beings, assuming things that they do not know.
I think that's one of the biggest problems we're facing right now in our country. I don't know how long you've been here, but I think it's safe to say America's probably the most divided it's ever been, especially with the pandemic going on.
Well, you had a civil war, this is…
Dang it, he beat me to it. I was like, there was a real civil war. Also around slavery.
Yeah.
So maybe we've been a bit more divided.
Yeah. One thing I really love about Sadhguru too is that people were asking him like a few weeks ago before the election, like, should they vote or not? If they think that like maybe both options aren't what they would want. And he goes, look at where we are today versus 100 years ago. Women couldn't vote.
Yeah.
Black people couldn't vote. Like,
gay marriage was illegal.
gay marriage was illegal. Like, we have come so far.
Yeah, yeah.
And
There's going to be resistance to that.
yeah,
There's always
and
going
that
to be
takes
resistance.
time.
It takes time.
But it's like, that is beautiful how far we've come. And I feel like so much of the time we get caught up in this type of thing where we're thinking like, but we're so split right now. Like, we see everything on social media and it is a lot of shitty stuff.
It is, yeah.
But if you look at the base values of everyone, we have evolved immensely.
We have way more in common.
Yes.
We have different, and we just need to recognize that.
Yes.
And
And the difference is, what's wicked cool here is like a lot of the differences are in what we believe.
oh boy.
Yikes.
Uh-oh. And maybe not questioning that.
And it's because we need to stay sturdy in our beliefs rather than saying I don't know and opening up.
Because being part of a political party, you have two choices usually, Democrat, Republican. And being part of that political party, one of the most frustrating things to me is when someone's like, oh, are you Democrat or Republican? And you answer, and then they think that they know everything about you. Because it's like, how is that massive group of people going to all hold the same beliefs?
Yes.
And be stagnant on them?
Yeah.
Like, that's just not true, but we pretend like it is.
Yeah, we try to see things black and white.
Yeah.
We even try to believe that the world is black and white because it's easier to answer that way.
Yeah, yeah. But it's not.
It's not.
We don't know.
Jeez. Bars.
I wanted to build off of his knowing versus believing. I don't remember which school of thought, if it was Plato or Aristotle, but do you believe that all knowledge comes from what is gathered by one of the sensory parts of life, by one of the senses? Is that your belief? You see something, you believe it. You smell something, you believe it. Or is there a...
One crazy thing that this also made me think of, Socrates, or in like Plato's write-ins of like the Socrates dialogues, where he'll like talk with like the character of Socrates will talk with other people,
Right.
And you don't know if they were actual conversations,
Yeah.
or like actually Socrates' ideas. But one of the things that Socrates constantly says is, "Oh, I know nothing. I'm just asking you questions."
Oh,
And it comes back to this.
that's
Like,
so cool.
you look at Einstein, Isaac Newton, all of these people have quotes that are like, "Oh, I know nothing about the world. I'm literally like exploring." Isaac Newton has one where he's like, "The world is a vast beach, and I am just sitting in one little spot looking at the grains of sand. And every once in a while, I come across something beautiful."
Wow.
And it's like the smartest people ever were like comfortable with, "I know that, I don't know that."
And we're not.
Yeah.
We're not the smartest people ever.
Wait, what? Yeah. Well,
I'll be
clearly.
honest.
Faith, is there room for metaphysical understanding of certain things? Do you leave that open, or do you have to experience it through one of the senses?
See, if you go by your sensory perception, right now I touch this and I say it's cool. No, I don't know what this is. Only because it's cooler than my body, I'm saying it's cool. If somebody else who is much cooler than me touches this, they'll say this is warm. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So I'm saying your experience of senses is a very relative experience. It's good enough for survival, not good enough for knowing the nature of what it is. For survival process, you're seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, which is what you're saying. To go to the grocery store, all this is good enough. But if you want to know what it is, you cannot know through your senses.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Dang.
When this guy talks, I just get excited to be alive.
This guy, that was one of my favorite clips I've seen from him.
Yeah.
That was really, really cool. That, phew. To be in that guy's shoes for a day, just to see, because sometimes when I see people teaching like that, that is just one sliver of the amount of things that he could teach. Because the way the conversation goes, he just let them almost lead it.
Yeah.
And he always would have an amazing thing to say about whatever they had to say. So that's not even like, he didn't even have all that prepared.
Yeah.
Like
That's off the dome.
That is just him living a profound life.
Yes.
And always having the right things to say because of that profoundness. That's crazy.
And one of the really cool things about, you should just go watch more clips of this guy.
For sure.
But his whole like childhood story and stuff like that is amazing. And a lot of it is founded in the fact that when he was like 3-4 years old, he started to realize that he knew, he like didn't know foundational things about the world. And he started to look at the world.
What?
Yeah. He started to look at the world, and his stories are so cool like this, in a way where he was like he would look at his teachers speaking, and he would start to realize like, whoa, they're just making noise with their mouth, and literally only pay attention to the noise they were making, and just like stare at it and just hear the noise, trying to figure out what the noise was.
Wow. Yeah.
And then you grow up and you become that, because you've been so like, just, I'm here for whatever this is.
Wow. That's a cool mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole idea of I don't know. And I feel like that's what we can take away from this video.
Absolutely.
Is going at your day with the I don't know mindset. Like, what if you treated your close friends with I don't know?
Yeah.
Like
Like you don't. Oh, that's so. Yeah.
Like before you get
yeah.
you get into conversation with them, before you even ask them how they're doing, you ask it in a way that's like, I really don't know how they're doing. I'm not gonna assume how they're doing.
That's nice.
I don't know.
It allows for so much active listening, and not even just like, you know, just in that situation, allows for active listening. But outside of that, the I don't know allows you to actually listen to what's going on in the world around you, and not because by believing things constantly and holding those beliefs, it doesn't allow you to listen to what's going on, because you have these ideas of what's being told to you.
That's what he was saying, where right when you say I know, you shut off
Yeah.
all your exploration.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
if you don't know, you naturally explore. And why don't we tap into that natural exploration more? Because that's what makes life fun.
Yes.
Like, that's just what's fun about being a human.
Dang. Well, that
Fire.
was learning with us,
Yeah. I hope you learned some stuff.
Mitch and Eli.
Subscribe, like, comment, let us know what you thought about the video. Check out Sadhguru and the Isha Foundation.
Yeah.
Because they're both dope. And much love.
Much love.
Peace.